We're talking about the panel joints in our CIP system and how wide they are. A lot of people ask how they're filled. So we leave a 3/8 gap. What is typical in the industry is for people to have a 1-inch gap or a 3/4 inch gap, and then they have these 3/4 inch chamfers, and it looks like a 1.5 inch gap at the end of the day. When we're doing these architectural homes, we want to try and minimize that look and make it look sleek. So we do a 3/8 gap between our panels. And this joint is caulked or with, we put backer rod and then we put a dynamic FC. In here, you can do paintable and non-paintable depending what you're doing with the exterior of your building. The idea is this to flex, because the veneer layer of this panel in the winter will be hydrated, so it'll expand and push on this joint, and this joint will actually bulge out. In the summertime, which it is now, you can see that it's contracted and it's pulling this silicone joint into a concave. The maintenance on this joint is to just come by and check to see if the silicone or the polyurethane sealant is pulling away from the panel, and if it is, then it's what's easily fixed by just cutting out the caulking and reapplying the caulking. So I typically tell the clients to check this every 5 years, just go around the house and have a quick look. Now on the inside, it's the same application. That's how we seal up the air barrier, because our structural layer of concrete is our air barrier as well, and our vapor barrier. And that's rod and caulked as well. And typically how we try and set up the home is by putting a wall over that joint on the inside if the designer or architect does not want to see the panel joint on the inside. They do look pretty clean. How the panels are tied together structurally, we typically use a welded embed, which the engineer has specified. There's other systems that are mechanical bolting systems. We try and get the engineer to locate these welded embeds behind building components like under slab or framing, wall systems and floor systems. So this typical panel connection up here with the welded embed will be behind a ledger board for the floor system, and this welded embed will be below the floor slab. On top of the panel also we have some weldable plate embeds, and there's a piece of flat bar that's been welded on the top. That's how we can actually let go of our building with the braces at the moment, and we've got some temporary braces put in place.